Hello, my name is Michael, and I'm the creator of Spiritual Pioneer. I'm making this video to give you a short introduction of what Spiritual Pioneer is, but I will expand upon all of these topics in future videos. Now, I say that the most important aspect of it is your personal self-growth because of two different reasons. The first, as you master yourself, you master the world around you, and as you change yourself, you change the world around you. So that right there will cover the world change. If we start to change ourselves as individuals and seek the higher aspects of life, the more virtuous aspects of life, and let the other ones drop away, then naturally we're going to change this world. If you haven't been keeping up on what's happening in the world, we are at a desperate time because of our climate situation. That's just one of the problems that we face today. It's a very serious problem, as all of the scientists, or at least 97% of them, state. And again, that is something that we can control with our own personal actions. So, as you master yourself, you master the world around you. Now, that's just one of the aspects that we face. If you open up the newspaper, you're going to see 1,000,001 different aspects, and they're all interwoven. It's kind of like a knot in a jewelry box of all of these different chains, and that knot just gets so complicated. And every single day, more and more chains are added into that knot. So this is talking about things like the healthcare epidemic, wars, you name it. It's just look at the newspaper. And then you'll see why this is important, why I've decided to make this, why my life's mission. And hopefully you will pick this up as your life's mission as well, because we're at a crucial time. But that's the first aspect. But now the second thing that I want to say about why self-mastery is more important than global change, because as you become more spiritual and as you touch and taste that essence of eternal truth that is within you, that spiritual essence, you will realize that even if the world was to perish, you still go on. Worlds do perish, that's just something that happens. Eventually the world is going to perish. Even science knows that at some point the sun is going to explode and the world will perish. But it doesn't need to happen now. And even if it does, you can be rest assured that you have eternal salvation, eternal peace after this happens. Now, when people talk about spirituality and religion, those two things are often intertwined, but I separate them because religion is somebody's personal set of beliefs. You can think of them as man's religions, things that man has concocted. Yes, granted, it has that seed of truth within it, but that seed of truth, that is spiritual. So make sure that when you're going through your search for truth, that you're able to discern spirituality and religion. Spirituality is the true essence of those religions. And then religions have different theologies and things added onto them. When I talk about truth, I like to be extremely careful with everybody to let people know what I'm saying is actually the truth that is unquestionable, what is relative truth, which would be a faith or a belief. I can promise you on everything that I am, everything that I hold dear, that there is such a thing as a deity, divinity, call it what you will. And not only that, but we have an aspect of it within us. I know that's indisputable. I know that's true for me, that's true for you. It's just something that exists beyond the human mind and the human comprehension. It's not a concoction of the human mind like an atheist would like to think. Now, I know that for a fact, and you can know that as well. We can talk about how, you can find that out. It definitely starts out as a faith walk. It goes from a belief to a faith to knowing. But as you progress and as you advance, you can certainly, absolutely know that. My quest for truth started about 15 years ago, and it led me through all different types of theologies, isms, philosophies, you name it. But the congruent thing in them was seek within. You don't need to go to this sacred church or that sacred book. All of the answers lie within. So that is where I went. And things progressed. Eventually, I started learning, okay, well, in order to go within, we need to clear our minds. And in order to clear our minds, we need to clear our physiology. This is like the link between physical to mental to spiritual. And then as we'll talk about, and one of the most exciting aspects of Spiritual Pioneer is the personal. But that's getting ahead of myself. Right now, I just want to make sure that I explain that in my quest for truth, I went within and I cleared out the toxins that were clouding my mind through food, drugs, alcohol, whatever they may be, all of the different extra things, that cloud those receptors. There's no arbitrary favors in the universe. I'm getting off on way too many topics right now. That's why I'm saying I'm trying to keep this brief, but there's a lot to say. But in that quest for truth, I went inward. Eventually, I exchanged vice for virtue, and I had an experience. It was given to me, which was a knowing experience. It was a blast. It lasted only about 10 seconds, and it was bliss. It was divinity. It was one time when I was meditating. I had cleared my mind, and it's beyond words. It's profound. If you've had it, then you know what I'm talking about. I'm not the only person that has had this experience. It's a spiritual experience is what it is. And it's bliss, it's truth, it's power. It's the power and truth of the universe. And when I say they, I mean higher beings. They can impart that on you. They have that ability to say, okay, we're going to give you the truth. Good job. You did what you were supposed to do. We are going to give you the truth of existence. And I got just a fraction of it, just a tiny taste, but it was enough for me to say, okay, two things. I know that there's such a thing as deity and divinity, and it's bigger than me. It's bigger than the thoughts that just go on inside of my own head. And also, I have a fraction of that within me, which will, as I continue to merge it, me, you, anybody, I'm not special. That's how we will continue on after this life. I'm vouchsafed, that's the peace which passes all understanding. So those are the two things that I can say I absolutely know 100% without a doubt. Knowing level, I know. But again, I can't convince you of that with a theorem, and I don't want to convince you of that with a theorem. Spirituality, it's not about being a slave or a puppet. You have to walk this path yourself. It's beyond a material science, but it will never have to conflict with the material science. Unlike in man's Bible and man's religion, where there's that confliction there between how old the world is and stuff like that. That stuff just melts away as you start to become more spiritual. God is the great unifier. There's a harmony. I don't even like to use the word symbol God, but it's just a symbol for deity or divinity. Approach it how you will. The aspect of Spiritual Pioneer that I'm trying to get across is that it's personal, it's individual. You have the aspect, you have the power to go within yourself and to find it. Okay, you can find this truth. How you do it, I can offer you how it helped, what worked for me. Maybe you're going to find something else. But that's my truth. That's what I want to impart to the world. But now I have a lot of faiths and beliefs as well. I believe that humans can live much greater than 100 years and that we can do so in a youthful and vital state. I have many different, cosmologies and things that I believe about, how this world is set up and how the universe is set up. And what another aspect about this is that I want to do what it takes to be at the knowing level of even those things. And I'll tell you that it's a joyous journey. That's the great aspect of it. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, as you progress in your spiritual path, a few things are going to happen. One, stress is going to drop away. Tension, anxiety, all of those things are going to drop away. You're just going to be filled with more joy, more compassion, more love, more understanding of the world. Your personal relationships are going to get better. Your health is going to get better, because exchanging vice for virtue, we know what kills us, we know what sends us into the grave, and it is our own eating habits. You are most likely to die from your own eating habits if you live in one of these developed countries. If not, half of the world is dying from lack, while the other half is dying from overabundance and greed and gluttony. So again, these things tie in. I know I'm going off, but you can click through the website to see all of the different aspects of Spiritual Pioneer and how they tie in. This thing is not about money or anything like that, but there is the basic upkeep costs of it. So feel free to donate. If not, that's the least of my concerns and worries. I just want you to take away something from it that is going to help you in your quest for truth. I'm questing with you as well. I'm in this we're in this together. I'm in this together. So hopefully I can show you my progress, and that will help you.